ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Dakṣa. So it's a really a huge sacrifice and huge chapter also. Long time the chapter is going. And now we have seen the instructions of the Lord to Dakṣa. Now we come to the concluding part of the chapter, that is text 55 to 61. Dakṣa finally, he completes the remaining part of the sacrifice. Okay. So text 55. Maitreya uvacha evam bhagavataadishta prajapatim harim prajapatirpatim harer architva rutunam svena devan ubhayata ayajat. Translation.
The sage Maitreya said, thus Dakṣa, the head of all Prajapatis, having been nicely instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, worshipped Lord Viṣṇu. After worshipping him, he separately worshipped Lord Brahmā and Lord Śiva. Purport. Lord Viṣṇu.
Sorry. I think we covered this verse, right? We are at text 56. Or no, we are not covered. No, we covered this vision of oneness. Jagannath Puri. Yeah. Text 56. Sorry. Prabhuji, you can just read the same translation later. Text 56. Rudram chasvena bhagena hi upavada samahitah karmana udavasena somapana itaranapi udavasya sahat rutubhihi sasnau abhyavritam tatah. Translation. Yeah, please.
With all respect, Dakṣa worshipped Lord Śiva with his share of the remnants of yajña. After finishing the ritualistic sacrificial activities, he satisfied all other demigods and the other people assembled there. Then, after finishing all these duties with the priests, he took a bath and was fully satisfied. Purport. Lord Rudra, Śiva was properly worshipped with his share of the remnants of the yajña. Yajña is Viṣṇu, and whatever prasada is offered to Viṣṇu is offered to everyone, even to Lord Śiva. Sridhara Swami also comments in this connection, Svena Bhagena, the remnants of the yajña are offered to all the demigods and others. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Dakṣa worshipped Lord Śiva with his share of the remnants of the sacrifice. Right? So Lord Viṣṇu is pleased. Lord Viṣṇu took his part of the sacrifice, instructed Dakṣa, especially about the oneness between Lord Brahma, Lord Śiva, and Lord Viṣṇu, with the context of what has happened in the yajna. And he antardhana, he disappeared from the vision. Then then Dakṣa, he worshipped Lord Śiva, then all other demigods with their due respects of the sacrifice. Then he took bath, and thus he was fully satisfied. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, yajña means Lord Viṣṇu, and to please Lord Viṣṇu is the real fruit of the yajña. So here Dakṣa Prajapati, he pleased Lord Viṣṇu, and he followed the instructions of Lord Viṣṇu, specifically worshipping Lord Śiva. And when he followed that specific instruction, he was very pleased, fully satisfied. Thus Lord Śiva, all other demigods, and all others, snena bhagena, the remnants of the yajna were offered to all the demigods and others, and thus everybody was fully satisfied. And this is the conclusion of yajna. Text 57. So Srila Prabhupada quotes Sridhar Swami, one of the original commentator of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. 57. तस्मैत्यनुभावेन स्वेनेव अवाप्त्य राधसे धर्म एवं मतिं दत्त्वा त्रिदशाते divam yayuhu. Translation.
Thus, worshipping the Supreme Lord Viṣṇu by the ritualistic performance of sacrifice, Dakṣa was completely situated on the religious path. Moreover, all the demigods who had assembled at the sacrifice blessed him that he might purport considerably advanced in religious principles. He awaited the blessings of the demigods. Thus, the great sacrifice conducted by Dakṣa ended in harmony and peace.
So Dakṣa, who is now completely situated in the religious path, dharma bhagena, is now waited for all the demigods, and all the demigods who had assembled at the sacrifice blessed him that he might increase his piety, and then this thing left. So just look at the beginning of the sacrifice, where Dakṣa is at the beginning. Dakṣa is walking very proudly, right? He's Tejasa and everybody, and very, very angry at Lord Śiva that he did not stand up, this and that. And at the end of the sacrifice, and one can see how he is humbled and in a genuine way, right? At the end, he has become a very soft personality who has fully situated on the religious path, and thus everything ended well. Prabhupada writes that everything ended in harmony and peace in this way. Okay. So although Dakṣa was advanced in the religious principles, he awaited for the blessings of the demigods. Okay. So it can be interpreted in so many different ways, but the point here is Dakṣa is now humble enough to accept the blessings. Previously, he was in the mood of giving blessings to everyone. Now he realized his own mistake, subdued his pride, paid the price, rectified himself, pleased the Lord, and is back on the path. And he is back on the path. Text 58. Evam dakshayani hitva sati purvak kalevaram jatne himavata kshetre menayamiti sushruma. Then what happened to Sati? So now here is the about Sati. Yeah, please continue.
Maitreya said, I have heard that after giving up the body she had received from Dakṣa, Dakshayani, his daughter, took her birth in the kingdom of Himalayas. She was born as a daughter of Mena. I heard this from authoritative sources. Purport: Mena is also known as Menaka and is the wife of the king of Himalayas.
So in all this, what happened to Sati? Sati, after self-immolation by fire, she took her birth as the daughter of Himalaya and Menaka. So Himalaya is the wife of the Himalaya is the king of the Himalayas, Parvat, and his wife is Mena or Menaka, and thus she was known as Parvati, the daughter of King Parvat. Text 59. So we are in the closing mode of the entire pastime. Tamev dayitam bhuya avruktem patimambika ananya bhava bhavaika gatim Shaktim Supteva Purusham. Translation.
Ambika, goddess Durga, who was known as Dakshayani, Sati, again accepted Lord Shiva as her husband, just as different energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead act during the course of a new creation. Purport. According to a verse of the Vedic mantras, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has different varieties of energies. Shakti is feminine and the Lord is Purusha, masculine. It is the duty of the female to serve under the Supreme Purusha. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, all living entities are marginal energies of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is the duty of all living entities to serve this Supreme Person. Durga is the representation in the material world of both the marginal and external energies, and Lord Shiva is the representation of the Supreme Person. The connection of Lord Shiva and Ambika or Durga is eternal. Sati could not accept any husband but Lord Shiva. How Lord Shiva remarried Durga as Himavati, the daughter of the Himalayas, and how Kartikeya was born is a great story in itself.
Yeah. So now, Ambika, Durga, previously she was known as Dakshayani Sati. She now became Parvati. Sati became Parvati. And she married Lord Shiva, just as the different energies ultimately unite with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with new creation. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Shruyate, a very famous verse, Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha, that the Lord has multifarious energies and Shakti is feminine, and here the word Purusha is a masculine, and therefore it is the duty of the Shakti to be engaged in the service of Purusha. So Purusha doesn't mean male and Shakti doesn't mean female. All the living entity come in the category of feminine. Okay. And they should be serving the Supreme Purusha, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In case of Durga, Parvati, she is eternally connected with Lord Shiva as Shakti and Purusha. And, thus she took the new birth as Himavati or Parvati. And then she united with Lord Shiva. And then Kartikeya is born. And then Ganapati is born. And that's a beautiful, great story in itself. Text 60. Etat Bhagavata Shambho Karmadakshadvaradruha Shrutam Bhagavatat Shishyat Uddhavat me Brihaspate. Translation.
Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, I heard the story of Dakṣa yajña, which was devastated by Lord Shiva from Uddhava, a great devotee and disciple of Brihaspati. Thank you, Prabhu.
So now, Maitreya Muni is saying, my dear Vidura, this entire pastime I have heard from Uddhava. So we know how it is. Vidura was meeting Uddhava, and there was such an intimate Krishna Katha, but then Uddhava felt himself to be way too junior in age, to Vidura to explain all the philosophical queries he had. And they both were so related to Krishna, it was very difficult to tolerate the separation from the Lord and sit and discuss some philosophy. So Uddhava, he passed on to the Badri Ashram, where he was supposed to deliver the final message of the Lord to the sages of Badrikashram. Vidura continued his travel, and then he could meet Maitreya. And Maitreya said, my dear Vidura, this beautiful story I have heard from Uddhava, disciple of Brihaspati. Right. Shrutva Bhagavatat Shishyat Uddhavat. Okay, so very, very great personality. I have heard this from great Bhagavata, a great devotee, that is Uddhava. Text 61. Idam pavitram paramesha cheshtitam yashasya samayushyam agha oghamarashanam यो नित्यदाकर्ण्य नरानुकीर्तयेत् धुनोति अघम कौरव भक्ति भावतः. Translation. Falashruti.
The great sage Maitreya concluded, if one hears and again narrates with faith and devotion this story of the Dakṣa Yajña is as it was conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Viṣṇu, then certainly one is cleared of all contamination of material existence, O son of Kuru. Purport. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 7th chapter of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Dakṣa. Purport nahi. Haribol, am I audible? Prabhuji, you are not audible.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Sorry. Okay. So this is the Falashruti. This is the Falashruti of this entire chapter, the entire pastime. Idam pavitram paramisha cheshtitam. These are the beautiful pastimes of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. It will increase one's yashasya, increase one's yasha, fame, ayushya, increase one's long duration of life, and aghamoghamarashanam, it will destroy the sinful activities. So for a devotee to destroy sin, he doesn't have to do any other thing than the core principles of devotional service. Correct. That's why Lord Krishna says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mam suchaha. Right. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. So this is the Falashruti of this particular chapter. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 4th canto, 7th chapter, the sacrifice performed by Dakṣa. And as we conclude this huge chapter, we enter to the next beautiful pastime, that is story of Dhruva Maharaj. What a chapter it is! What an amazing pastime that is, right? So Dhruva Maharaj pastime will go on for chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then there will be descriptions of descendants of Dhruva. And, this is how next 5 chapters are going to be pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. So is there any question, comment, discussion? Yeah. So we'll go to the next chapter. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. So now this is a 5 chapters pastime. And if we see chapter 8 is Dhruva being insulted and he leaves home and performs tremendous austerity. And that chapter is also going to be a huge chapter, one of the biggest chapters. Previous chapter had 61 shlokas. This chapter has 82 shlokas. Okay, so it is a phenomenal chapter there. So severe austerities are being explained. So this is chapter 8. Chapter 9, Dhruva Maharaj returns home. Right, and he is very well received by father, mother, both the mothers. Even the stepmother also receives him very well. And Dhruva also goes all the enmity and the insult that he has suffered through. Then Dhruva Maharaj fight with the yakshas. Then what happens in the due course of time, Dhruva's brother Uttama is killed by Yaksha. And Dhruva becomes extremely angry and he attacks Yakshapuri. And Yakshas, they become very angry when Dhruva attacks. Because humans are like subspecies for them. Right? And therefore, they try to take vengeance against Dhruva. And Dhruva becomes, Dhruva is overwhelmed by the attack. And then later what happens is that Dhruva is overwhelmed by the attack of the Yakshas. And then he is instructed by the sages that, my dear Dhruva, just remember the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A very, very famous verse comes there. 4.10.30, that Auttana Pada. They are describing glories of chanting the holy names. My dear Dhruva, don't get disturbed by all these things. Just focus you being a great devotee. and focus on the Supreme Lord and the holy names of the Lord. Very amazing verse. This is one of the beautiful verses of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And then Dhruva, he overcomes all the illusion by the yakshas, and then now he becomes really angry. And then he attacks Alankapuri, the capital of Yakshaloka. And that is what a fight it is. Okay. I mean, if you really want to enjoy the fights, this is amazing, amazing chapter in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Right. I personally enjoy fight a lot, especially Ramayana fights, Mahabharata fights, how Abhimanyu fought. So this is, Yaksha fighting, Dhruva fighting with Yaksha is a phenomenal fight. And it literally goes to the point of genocide. Okay. Modern day, this word is very famous. The word modern day is used as the genocide. And Dhruva literally is on the verge of genociding, doing genocide of the Yakshas. And then Yakshas, of course, when Dhruva is fighting such a pure devotee, Parthastra-putam Paramapureta, all the Yakshas who are killed by Dhruva, they are promoted to the higher planetary system beyond Surya Loka. Okay, of course, Dhruva is not aware of this. And then Kubera comes, and Kubera comes along with Swayambhu and Manu, in whose dynasty Dakṣa has taken birth. And both of them appeal say that there is limit to anger. That Dhruva, your one brother is killed, and Yaksha was surely at the fault, but you have killed thousands of Yakshas for your one brother. And too much anger is not good. Punishment should be proportionate to the offense. And Dhruva Maharaj immediately becomes pacified. He offers obeisances to Manu. He withdraws from the fight. And Kubera becomes very pleased with Dhruva. And he says that, my dear Dhruva, please ask me any benediction that you want. Just imagine, it is like Nirmala Sitaraman comes to you and says, ask any wealth that you want from me. And then there is a beautiful prayer by Dhruva Maharaj. And, then Dhruva says that, my dear demigod Kubera, just give me blessings that I will be steady in my devotional service. And this is how, he pleases Kubera also, doesn't ask anything material to Kubera. Dhruva, when he has pleased the Supreme Lord, he already attained the Dhruva Loka. So finally, there is a time to depart to Dhruva Loka, and all the aeroplane comes, all the Viṣṇu Dutas, they come. And Dhruva said, no, I cannot just go like that. He first takes blessings of all the Vaishnavas, circumambulates all the Vaishnavas, respects them, and he says that, where is my mother? And all the Viṣṇu Dutas, they say, oh, your mother is just going ahead of you. And they show another aeroplane, right? And if you see very carefully, on our NVCC, the temple hall around the dioramas that we have, there is beautiful Dhruva diorama also, Dhruva Maharaj pastime there also. And the final, the clip of that Dhruva Maharaj pastime, you will see another aeroplane also going back to the spiritual Vaikunthayan, going back to the spiritual world. And their mother of Dhruva is sitting. And finally, Dhruva goes back home, back to Godhead. Okay, so these are the 5 beautiful, beautiful chapters of story of Dhruva Maharaj. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was in such love with the story of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj that whenever he used to meet Gadadhar Pandit, okay, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya, and Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani personified in Chaitanya Lila, right? She, the Radharani, appears as Gadadhar Pandit. So when Lord Krishna and Radharani, when they to come in Kali Yuga, what they will do, they used to simply read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and weep, cry tears of ecstasy. And hundreds of times, they used to discuss the story of Dhruva Maharaj, story of Prahlad Maharaj. Sometimes people feel that when we become, senior devotees, we should let go these simple pastimes and we should focus only on the gopis and, only on the 10th canto. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Gadadhar Pandit, they used to, relish the pastimes of Dhruva and Prahlad hundreds of times. Okay, so this is that very celebrated pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. We'll begin with this verse, very famous verse, 4.10.30. This display 4.10.30. So this is the verse where Dhruva is overwhelmed by the attack of, the yakshas, and all the sages, they come and they say that, my dear Dhruva, don't worry, the holy name is with you. Okay. So we'll recite this. Munaya urchuhu
Naya uchu
Autana pada bhagavan stava sharangadhanva
Autana padu bhagavan stava sharangadhanva
Deva kinotva avanatarte haro vipakshan
Devakshinat avanatri haro vipakshan
Yannamadheya abhidhaya nishamya chadha
Yannamadeyama vidhaya nishamya chadha
Lokonjasa tarati dustaramanga mrityum
Lokonjasa tarati dustaram anga mrityum.
Munaya Urchutam. The sages said, dear Dhruva, O Uttanapad, the son of the king Uttanapad, Bhagavan Stava, Uttanapad Bhagavan Stava Sharangadhanva. May Lord Sharangadhanva always protect you. Deva Kshinotva Avanatat Artha Harer Vipakshan, who is very famous, who is known as Sharangadhanva, who relieves the distress of his devotees and kill all your threatening enemies. What to speak of the Lord? The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord himself. Therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from the fearless death without difficulty, and thus a devotee is saved. So, and Srila Prabhupada beautifully quotes Mahamantra here, that if a devotee at the time of death can simply chant his holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, simply chanting this Mahamantra, he immediately surpasses the great ocean of the material sky and enters the spiritual sky. He never has to come back for the repetition of birth and death. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can surpass the ocean of death. So Dhruva Maharaj was certainly able to surpass the illusory magical feats of the yakshas, which for the time being disturbed his mind. Right, so amazing glory of the holy name. And this is, Dhruva has great faith in and then the fight continues. And then Dhruva becomes, now the illusion is gone, and Dhruva becomes really angry. Right, so this is an amazing pastime. So we will be entering this pastime from tomorrow. It is as good as entering the Dhruva Loka, realizing that hearing the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. We have to really relish as the pastime is going to unfold from tomorrow. We'll conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhupada. Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.
రేపు ఎక్కడ పడుకోబెట్టాలో తెలియదు.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.